logo. You got a lot of them really funny. Please give it up for Bryant Denton!
How we doing? How we doing? I haven't been home in a while. It's been a little bit since I've been in Plattsburgh, so good to see you coming here tonight. Are you guys keeping up with the news at all? I don't blame you. I'm a newsman, so I have to. And the headlines today, they're horrible. They're horrible. Yeah. You know, adored football player dies of cancer. An adored rap mogul has been sex trafficking for years. An adored racist singer threw a chair off of a roof. I just lumped Morgan Wallen in with P. Diddy and O.J. Simpson. I know, it's fucked up. We're not Morgan Wallen fans, Zach. Last night we let the liquor talk. I said something that we said it all. Listen, we're all going to say what we're going to say in the privacy of our own voice. But if you're dropping a hard R, you better make sure no one's recording that. Yeah, you better do. We're in Plattsburgh. We've heard a hard R here. I know you have. Well, he's facing felony charges for that. It's kind of crazy. Throwing the chair, not the N-word thing. But yeah, no, there are some really shitty headlines coming out. In Arizona, they are essentially banning abortion in almost all cases. There's a law that was written in 1864, before Arizona was a state, before women could vote. The good old days. Just kidding. In the case of rape or incest, you won't be able to get an abortion. And no joke there, just tough news. But a story that was even potentially a bigger consequence, one that hurt me personally, was, because I don't have a uterus, so, and I've never caused an abortion, I've never been responsible for one. I know some people here might have had, I've never had that problem. So it didn't apply to me, but this headline, like I said, really fucked me up. HBO is canceling the Jon Snow Game of Thrones spin-off series. Yeah, I know. It's sad. Did anyone watch Game of Thrones? When that song came on, those were the good old days. You had all your friends over watching that show. That was a really good time. And what more do you want? The show gave you everything. You have full frontal nudity, tits, pussy, balls, whatever. You got it all. People getting their heads chopped off, and there's dwarves having sex. And you know, people at that time are like, are you allowed to show midgets having sex on TV? Is that okay? But first of all, it's a little person. Second of all, this is cinema, baby. Get ready. And it's inclusive too. So yeah, this is great. But my favorite part about Game of Thrones, my favorite part was that anyone could die at any moment. No one was safe. Oh, you like this guy? Let's fucking gouge out his eyes and chop off his tongue. You like this bitch? You like her? Eh? She's pregnant. Fucking slit her throat and stab her in the stomach. Fucking get that baby. That's a Game of Thrones style abortion, which shockingly is the only way you can terminate a pregnancy in Arizona now. But it's fucked up. I read it online. Take my word for it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Then you're probably thinking, you're like, yeah, he kind of reminds me of Tyrion Lannister. You know, an alcoholic dwarf who falls in love with a whore. I said it, you thought it, fuck you. Yeah, I know. No, who I really related to was Jon Snow. You know, he's a conflicted character. He's a bastard. And he's raised by a noble family that doesn't really fit in. It turns out he was highborn, but he didn't find out till later. They didn't have Ancestry.com back then. He didn't find out until he fucked his cousin. It was too late. Another thing that will be happening more in Arizona as well. Yeah, Jon Snow. It gets deeper with him. It gets a little deeper with him. He gets kidnapped by these savages that live outside the castle walls, by the wildlings, and he becomes a double agent. And there's a lot of white people here. You might not understand. Juan, you might understand this. James, you definitely understand this. As a half black, half white man in America, you are a double agent. You're an ambassador of blackness, an award or a hostage of white supremacy culture. As a double agent, you have to do things that people might not understand. Acts of survival that may seem like acts of betrayal. Jon Snow had to kill his own brothers of the Night Watch to fit in with the wildlings, and I've had my own share of that sort of dealing, those double dealings. May I share with you all an act of treason against the black race? Yeah. Okay, take a sip of water. Buckle up. So, a little context. I moved to Burlington from Plattsburgh in 2015, and when I got there, actually, let me rewind. I grew up here in Plattsburgh, right? And my parents divorced when I was quite young. And before my dad disappeared from my life, he didn't set me down and say, son, I love you. He also never sat me down and said, son, there will be a point in time when you'll be in a room with a bunch of white people, and the song Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G. will come on. And it'll get to the point in the song where it says, and if you don't know, now you know. You know, there's one? Yeah, you got it. If Morgan Wallen was here, he would have helped me out. I know he knows the words to that song. Kind of shocking that you guys don't, but that's okay. He would have said, son, these white people will look to you for permission to say the N-word. And it is of the utmost importance that you do not give them an N-pass. I never got that lesson, so when I moved to Burlington, Vermont, I was pretty desperate to make some friends, and desperate time called for desperate measures. I was at a party one night, and I called my friend. I'm like, yo, Ryan, you gotta come to this party. I don't know these people. And he's like, bet. He's light-skinned too, but I try to make it seem like he's more black. So we're at the party, we're outside, smoking a cigarette, I'm drinking some liquor, and a white guy comes over and he's like, hey man, do you have a cigarette? Extra one I could have? I'm like, yeah. They're menthols though, you cool with that? He's like, I love menthols. Got some Fireball too. I'm like, you want a shot of Fireball? He's like, Fireball's my favorite. Okay, I can feel a really good friendship coming out right now. And we're like, what's your name? What's your name, man? It's Brian. And I'm like, oh shit, this is Ryan. He's like, oh my god, that's so cool. It's because we're connecting because our names are similar. That's how shallow men's relationships can be. Just a mere coincidence of names being close. You made a friend for life. And I'm like, yo, my name's Bryant. He's like, oh shit. Ryan, add a B, Brian, add a T, Bryant. We're like the Three Musketeers. Kind of like when the Power Rangers transform into one powerful being. Or like in the Little Rascals when three of them got on top of each other's shoulders in a trench coat to become one powerful being. It's kind of like that. So I look at my friend Ryan. He's like, he knew what was going on. It was time. We were going to commit an act that in black law is really frowned upon. So, like I said, well, no, you need someone who's 100% black to grant an N pass. That's just the law. But since I'm 50%, he's 50%, we were good to go. It's kind of like in a movie. When they're like in a nuclear reactor and you need two people to open a door. It's like 3, 2, 1. Ching! Ball opens. Grab the N pass. Walk over to Brian. We're like, yo, you can say it tonight. What? We're like, yeah, you're with us. It's cool. He's like, I can't believe it. You guys are my niggas. This is so crazy. Oh my god. Because white people are waiting for this moment their entire lives. I don't know if you know this. So the night goes on, blah, 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 whatever. It meant nothing to me, but I fulfilled his greatest wish. So life goes on. I see Brian at a party a little bit later, and I kind of forgot what I had opened. And he comes right up to me. He's like, yo, what's up, nigga? what's up? And then there's I'm the only black person around at this point. And that's a no-no. That's a no-no, in case you didn't know that. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You like can't be saying that like that. He's like, what are you talking about? NPass is for life. And it's a technicality thing that if you don't retrieve an NPass the night it was issued, they're sort of grandfathered in. I didn't write the law, so this is just what was told to me later. And I'm like, fuck, he's right technically. So I just kind of I left and I got to figure this out later. And at this point, I'm like, this is fucked up. Like the next time I see Brian, I'm taking this pass by force. And listen, I watch Game of Thrones, all right? I'm gonna bite his fucking neck out or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, but the fucked up thing that happened is I got sort of ambushed by him. I was out on the streets in Burlington, and he just kind of came across me, and he's not a beat skip. Yo, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. I'm like, oh my fucking God, you need to stop doing before I get it out. The only other black people in Vermont were nearby, and they heard this go down. And they came over and they're like, yo, what the fuck you say, white boy? The fuck he say to you? And he's like, Brian's like, no, it's cool. He gave me a pass, Like, you gave him a pass? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. And I just kept walking on. I just walked by. And they grabbed him. He says, no, stop, help me, please. Can smell the gunpowder in the air. Taste of blood in the air. I kept going. I never even turned back. Never saw him again. That's a true story. that happened. So what I'm saying is, I betrayed my own race by doing that. That's a no-no in the black community, and I have to live with that. And we're gonna say what we're gonna say in the privacy of our own voice. But if you're on the streets, you're dropping a hard R or a soft A, there's consequences for your actions. And if you don't know, now you know. Well, it's so good that you're here because the part I didn't mention in my story, is that those black people actually took my black card back. So I'm not even really supposed to be saying that word anymore. Thank you. My name's Brian Denton. Have a good night. Give it up for the host.
Give it for Brian one more time.